There's this poem by Jose Marti where he speaks of palm trees are waiting brides, and I've never seen something more fierce than a palm tree being whipped by a hurricane wind. They are the only thing that will survive it because they are flexible enough to just ride the wind. My name is Firelei Ba. I'm a visual artist. I make everything from paintings to sculptures to drawings to large-scale immersive installations. And for me, they're all ways of getting myself and the viewer to connect to themselves, to first anchor into their body as a mode of navigation, to then connect into the epic histories that are constructed actively around us and that we ourselves are actively constructing for future descendants. One thing about growing up in the Caribbean is that you are constantly being bombarded with this idea that we are ahistoric and that at baseline, our frequent hurricanes are constant erasure. But what is not taken into account that my island has the oldest university in the entire New World. And it came out of this imposition of a particular way of distributing knowledge. There are normative archives and there are non-normative archives. And what I love about stories and folklore is that they are non-normative repositories of knowledge. They are psychic guards that are built in to help you navigate the world. For me as a child was very clear in the story of the Ciguapa, this Hispaniolan Dominican trickster, this free creature from nature who was able to just like break timelines, break karmic loads, revel in natural spaces, was just like, why would I not want to be this? One thing that you might notice for a lot of my figures is that they're always mid-transformation. So that was particularly tricky to make something that was in the middle of that transition fixed in bronze. There's nothing more still and as a material, more gravity bound than bronze. And bronze, every slight gesture ends up being 75 pounds. And then you have to figure out how to make it feel effortless and light and windblown. And so I worked with models to work into different poses so that I could preserve the tension in the joints and the muscles and make it feel ready to spring into action. I wanted to have clay reminded of itself turning into bark and then slowly turning into a windswept treetops to make it seem as if it was of all the elements. So water, earth, air, and the bark can feel like lichen or coral. The treetop can be an anemone or a woman's hair. All these things are meant to be free associated so that ambiguity can help you project further. Everything I make, I do want to anchor the senses. It needs to be something that's tactile. Even when I'm depicting an illusion, I want you to remember this is dirt, pigment, things that are material, that are being manipulated and that will give you this beautiful illusion. And so painting is the best example of that. It can transport you. It can be a window for the imagination, a psychic window. A lot of my work is made up of a composite of images. Most compositions start as a flash that I'll get, like a vision of an image. And the goal for each canvas is to get as close as I can to the thing I see. And many times I'll start with documents I'll have sourced from different archives, the Library of Congress, the David Rumsey Archive, different places that are repositories of knowledge. And I'll work with the archivists and the librarians to get the highest resolution image for that one particular document, and then we'll have that document faithfully reprinted onto a canvas, and that document will be something I react to. So much of the construct of self is explored within Caribbean theory and philosophy, specifically someone like Edouard Glissant. The line from his writing on opacity is, "Just because it amazes me does not mean I relinquish it." There are parts that I have not even begun to understand that I fully claim and are mine and are not meant to be taken. There are things in these works that I will never understand, and that I'm hoping that they can be equally constructed by the viewer, that they bring with them as much as I bring into the work. Why is that texture that way? Why is this body so visceral? What is that history? And why is this figure falling within that? One thing I would never want to have for the viewer is a didactic telling of a history or a time. I think together we make something far more complex and far more nuanced than me saying, this is bad and this is good. I want you to tell me, because in the telling, you reveal yourself and I reveal myself. And that is what Glissant really hoped, that when you see self and other, you allow that full complexity. You don't have to take them apart to know them or accept them or feel like they are part of you.